Okay, guys. Looking forward to getting back to conference play here. It's great to get a win, and we know we have a big challenge ahead of us here Saturday night. Virginia Tech is an outstanding football team, as you all know. One of the best defenses in the country. Bud Foster is one of the premier coordinators in the country. Once again, you know, they're 12th in scoring defense, 24th in total defense, 29th in rush defense, 40th in pass defense, and that's with playing a marquee team in Clemson. Key players, Tremaine Edmonds, Andrew Matapuaka, their middle linebacker, and Tim Settle is a big, strong, powerful guy in the interior of their defensive line. They're very good on that side of the ball. Really always have been, and people are struggling to move the ball on them. On offense, you know, Josh Jackson is a redshirt freshman quarterback, a talented guy. He can run, he can throw, and has done some really good things this season. Running backs, Trayvon McMillan, Deshaun McLeese, talented guys, good-sized guys, very productive, both averaging over 4.5 yards a carry. Wide receivers, Cam Phillips, 41 catches, almost 600 yards. Outstanding receiver. So they have some skill players. They have a run game. They're very good on defense. They too have had an opportunity to, you know, be in a tough game versus Clemson. They had them at home, which is a great advantage for Virginia Tech, but with their home field advantage. But they were in a tough game there. Played a physical game. So we know that this Saturday will be a great challenge, but one we're really looking forward to, really excited about. We've been in some big challenges against real good teams, so we have another one here, and it'll be at home. Any questions?
Steve, does Bud Foster kind of have a set pattern or a set way of defense, or does he kind of go with the athletes he has in his system?
I mean, he's been, you know, his defense has fluctuated a little bit over the years. Coverages, a little bit of front variation, but for the most part, their standard defense, which is a four-down defense, has been pretty consistent. Their ability to play man coverage, their ability to pressure you in certain scenarios and play zero has been pretty consistent. I think he does a great job of defending formations and defending plays and things like that. He's a real good coach. Been proven over a long time. You know, I go all the way back to my days at Syracuse. You know, going against Virginia Tech. So have a long history here of watching him call defense. He's been there a long time, and just think he's an outstanding football coach. And you know, once again, they're good. I mean, they have good talent. I mean, they have good players. Never mistake that. You know. They have the ability to recruit some really good players, and they do a great job on defense recruiting to what they want to do.
What about Lucas Dennis? Is it part of the 5 interceptions? Is that just part of his athleticism, or is he just being in the right spot for those?
Like everything, it's a little bit of everything. I think he's maturing. I think he's coming along on defense. I think he has a knack for playing back there. I think also, you know, we're mixing our coverages more than we ever have here before, and he's getting more comfortable with that. So I think it's a combination of all. But he certainly seems to be, you know, in a good position frequently, and he's a good athlete. He's a really good athlete.
What about AJ? Was he okay after that?
Yeah, AJ's doing really great. Yep. Not to my knowledge, not right now.
Back to Lucas Dennis, I mean, the interceptions for him, a surprise that, you know, is that something you saw coming from him during camp or from his talent? Or
I mean, I think all those guys I saw during camp, you know, they're all really good athletes back there. And, you know, I just think that, you know, safeties, depending on the coverage you're in, you know, have a great opportunity for those interceptions. You know, if you're in a two-deep coverage, if you're playing quarters, I mean, you're going to get a little bit more of that. In man coverage, you're more isolated sometimes with, you know, corners locked up in man on receivers, and it's not quite the same. Whereas when safeties can play zones and they can sit back and see the field and break on balls, you're going to have a little bit more opportunity with that. So we're playing more zone coverage, so you're seeing more of that.
Coach, last year your team lost to Virginia Tech 49-0. Does that loss still sting, and are the guys using that as motivation for Saturdays?
I mean, every loss stings. You know, we went down there into a pretty hostile environment, and we got beat. I mean, a lot of people got beat. You know, I don't think you do. I think you sit there and dwell on a game? No. I mean, it is what it is, and you move forward. We've beaten them 2 out of 4 years. Let's not forget that either. Okay, so I think, you know, you learn from what you feel were mistakes that you may have made in that game. You grow from those kind of games, and you move forward. Listen, man, we're in a really good conference. We play some really good teams. So when you play them at home, it's really tough. This is not standard fare across the country, what we're playing against right now. We're playing against really good teams. And so in tough venues. So sometimes, you know, that can happen. And you don't want it to, and you're not happy about it. But, you know, we went down there and played pretty poorly, especially on offense, which a lot of people do against that defense last year. And, you know, so our goal is to learn from our mistakes, but dwell on them? No. I mean, you know, we've been in some pretty good battles already.
Coach, Virginia Tech is in the Coastal, but you play them every year. And talk about the rivalry, just a macro look, BC, Virginia Tech, as you mentioned earlier. Even go back to ACC championship games, playing them 2 years in a row, 07 and 08. What is it about Virginia Tech that makes them successful?
I think they're steadying the boat and gave Frank Beamer a chance to build that program. I was at Syracuse at the time when they were about ready to take Coach Beamer and make a change. And they were on their last legs. And they hung in there with him, and he was able to build it and turn it around. That's what happened. I mean, he will tell you. If he was standing here today, I mean, I've talked to him. He's an awesome guy. And he would tell you that they hung in there with him and gave him an opportunity to recruit it and hang in and build, and they got over the hump. They didn't. I mean, they built magnificent facilities. They put a lot of money into their program. I mean, you guys have been down there. I mean, their stadium is packed and sold out every week. They've got tremendous facilities, and they have a major commitment to football down there. Okay, and then they gave him a chance to hang in there and build that program. And all of those energies. This is not a new phenomenon. All those energies go together, and it can lead to, you know, really building a program that's committed to excellence in football.
Last question for me is, you know, we're entering time now, early October, exams, midterms. Teams have playing since late July. How's everyone feeling? How's the morale going with the team? And this is really the full swing of ACC play now. Virginia Tech, Clemson, Notre Dame. How's the team handling the week-to-week grind?
I mean, great. You know, in terms of excited to play the game, in terms of the attitude in our locker room, it's phenomenal. You know, I think guys are excited and energized and feel great about getting a win, and you know, and I think our team knows exactly where we are and what we've gone through and what we've had to overcome right now, and got to keep grinding. In terms of the academic piece of it here, I mean, this is a real. This school is a really high-end, as you guys know this, a very high-end academic school. Our kids are challenged every single day in the classroom. This is not where you come and find a major to put people into. This is where you come in here and you compete every day, and we're really proud of that. And our kids have to grind. So our kids carry a real load academically. So yes, what I've learned here is you get into a certain time of year and midterms and academic workload happens, you can see the kids start to get, you know, mentally pretty tired, and they have to learn how to cope and deal with that. Okay, but I think we've got bright guys here that are committed to wanting to do well in their education. So they start, as they get older. I worry a little bit about the young guys. When it's all new to them, the older guys learn how to balance that and how to handle that. And the young guys, I think sometimes that's pretty overwhelming for them because they've never seen that kind of quantity of work matched with the intensity physically and mentally of this level of football. You know, this is the highest level of, I mean, the ACC's never been better than it is today. It's an all-time high. And this is not, you know, 10 years ago. It's at its all-time high. So these kids, and so to speak, BC's at an all-time high. I mean, this is considered now it's always been a phenomenal school, but it's one of the most elite schools in America. So, you know, in recruiting, you know, we talk about it. It's one of the elite schools in America academically, but you're playing against the very, very best talent there is in the country right now at a high, high level. And we play on the division on the side of it that, as you can well see who we're playing right now, it's not like the other side. And so you have that ability to have both at a high level, you know. And if you're a guy that thrives in that kind of thing, that's awesome, you know. And you get to get challenged every single day.
After Saturday's game, you talked about how the play-action passing game wasn't exactly where you wanted it to be.
Right.
You guys have been running the ball increasingly better each game. So what is it needs to improve with the play-action passing game? For protection?
It's, you know what? That's a good question. It's a little of both. We met on this Sunday, yesterday, and it's a little of both. Sometimes, you know, we've got to misread. Sometimes we break down in protection. But it's, I would say, the consistency factor. We had a couple of wide open guys that we missed a couple of throws on. It's a little bit of everything. We'd like that to be better than it is right now. When I talk about play action, that's a broad-based term too. I'm talking more of the longer chunk play action more than the shorter play action. And you know, we run nakeds and those kinds of things. I think we're doing well there. I just think our chunk throws down the field have not been what they were really during training camp. You know, pretty consistently. They're, you know, we have fell off just a little bit there, and we need to regain that back. It's there to be gained at times. Like I said, it's more 11 firing consistently more than it is. You know, we've had some changes in here that have up front that have created a little havoc for us, and we're still ironing them out, you know. And our run game is improving incrementally because we're starting to get a little more cohesiveness. But as we all know, that's a real big piece, you know. You know, and hopefully this week, I'm hoping this might be the first week that I'm hoping we can have 5 guys working together all week long that will be the starters in the game. That would be a good thing, and that could go a long way in helping us. Of course, we're gonna ratchet up our competition level going against one of the marquee defenses in America as well, as we did 2 weeks ago.
How is Michael Walker able to do both disciplines? I mean, sometimes a good punt returner is not necessarily a good kick returner. How has he kind of mastered both of those disciplines?
You know, I think you saw Mike at his very best because Mike is a run into the catch guy. Some guys are not that, right? Good kickoff return guys can rock and run into the catch. So when they catch it, they're moving, as opposed to a stationary catcher that has to start, right? That's what makes Mike really a good kick returner. And in the punts, he was able to get those punts, if you remember, on kind of almost on a dead run, which is hard to do, but he does a great job with that. So that gave him great momentum. Whereas a lot of punt guys, they catch it, and then they're stop-start guys. Mike is more of a hit-it-on-the-move guy. So those short punts that came at him like that, low trajectory, short, whatever, played a little bit into his hands. That's what he does actually quite well, and some do, some don't. He does that well.
What about his decision-making, like when to fair catch, when to let it go for the end zone?
Been pretty good. Yeah. Been pretty good. He's done a really good job with that. It's not easy, as you can tell. I mean, especially with the kind of kick that was coming at him this week, that kind of side rugby, half rugby style kick, low. There was a lot of decisions that would have to be made, and you know, he's a bright guy, and he handles those really, really well. You know, and I thought he did a fabulous job with it, and that's a tough place to play right there. I mean, both those jobs are tough jobs. A kickoff returner and a punt returner, they're kind of different. People think they're really similar, but they're really not. And he handles both pretty well.